Last night, Daredevil Born Again Season 2 dropped its penultimate episode, so let's talk about it. Hi, I'm Jordan the Nerd of Gold, and I overall enjoyed this episode. I was kind of expecting a bigger episode since it's the next to last one, but we'll see where this is going to go. There's still a lot of good stuff in this episode. Like, I liked all the scenes with Jessica Jones in them, although I was a little surprised that she was willing to, kind of walk away from the situation after she got to speak with Mr. Charles, and we got to hint of what's happening to Luke Cage. We don't know what he's doing, but we know Luke Cage has, said that, I'm going to go do some dirty work for the CIA, basically, to make sure that my family isn't, Sokovia Accord arrested. I don't know really what's going on there, even because the Sokovia Accords aren't really a thing anymore. And I don't really understand what that relationship is, but I do want to know more about it because, I want to know what's happened between Luke Cage and Jessica in all this time that we haven't seen them. So, that was exciting to get to see that. We also got to see the show trial of Karen Page, and where she got to put in lockup, got strip searched, and we got to see that moment where she and Fisk were, alone together because he's Wilson Fisk and he can make sure that they're alone. But she said, no, I'm not afraid of you. I can actually see fear in your eyes. You're afraid that you're gonna lose it all. And she's right. After what happened last night in front of City Hall, that was not going to go in Kingpin's favor on that front, even if he thinks he's going to gain a win out of dragging Karen through the mud in this show trial. But it's not going to work out for him because Matt and Daredevil, they have a plan. They know how to fight the same games because Matt's a lawyer and Kingpin's just stepping out into this public role after spending so many years in the somewhat shadow. He was a known public figure, but nobody really knew exactly where he got his money on that front as far as the general public is aware. We also got to see what Daniel and BB were up to. Now that they finally know the truth about each other, they got to see they're not really going to be able to be in a relationship. And is Daniel really going to succumb to the pressure of Kingpin and the fear for his own life, or is he going to step up and do the right thing? And you know what? Good on Daniel for doing the right thing. Even though it cost him his life, he did the right thing in the end. He did not go down with the ship, and I'm happy for him. He did think he was doing the right thing, pushing Fisk, because he's it's going to break the status quo, but you know what? This is wrong. I can't keep being a part of this the way I am. And he put his life on the line for a woman he cared about. I kudos to Daniel. I'm going to miss him, and that scene with him and Buck was brutal because you could see Buck's brain almost breaking under the pressure of having to kill Daniel, because he's I like Daniel, and this is kind of hard. Even though he didn't want to admit it, you could see it on his face, and that was some good acting on his part. I loved the part where Daredevil's all right, Bullseye, you want to do one good thing, this is your chance. And then we got to see what it was. He got to go protect the governor from a would-be assassin from Wilson Fisk. And I love the way that scene was handled because the New York governor lady shows looking through whatever documents I assume the AG had prepped to actually shut down the Freeport, because she and Mr. Charles knew that shutting down the Freeport was the best way to hurt Wilson Fisk and make sure that getting him out of the mayor's office was going to be effective, because if he still had that, he'd still have a lot of leverage against both of them. But we got to see the assassin try to take her out, almost choke her in her own home, but Bullseye comes in for the save and takes out this assassin, and I just love the way that he handles himself. He goes and gives her a salute. It's just walks off because 2 assassins made it onto the governor's mansion without anyone noticing, and then Bullseye just walks away as the cops drive up. I love that. I can't wait to see more of Wilson Bethel's Bullseye. Just the way he carried himself in that scene just makes me think he's off to do no good, but he thinks he is, and that's just wonderful as far as the setup for a villain goes. I cannot wait to see what they're going to do with him in the next episode and in season 3, because there's no way you don't keep using Bullseye as long as he's alive. Wilson Bethel kills it in that role, and I just love what they're doing with him in this season. And I kind of want to see him break a little more bad instead of thinking he's part of the vigilante class like Daredevil. But I do think there's something cool about twisting Bullseye into thinking that he is Daredevil's friend. They are buddies. I think that's a cool little twist for the MCU. But overall, this episode was a good episode. I was hoping it in on a high note of violence compared to the the kind of sad, brutal death Daniel's story ended on. So I'm looking forward to seeing where this is going to go. I don't know exactly where it's going to go because, I mean, even from the outset, we knew Wilson Fisk wouldn't die or not be Kingpin by the end of this season. We don't know exactly what's going to happen to him. And I kind of thought when they initially announced the Wilson Fisk as Mayor storyline that it was going to maybe last a few seasons, because a mayor is a defined role of time. So, like, we could have gotten a couple more seasons out of this, and I was kind of surprised when it became clear that they weren't going to, like, stay on this train forever. So I don't know exactly where everything is going to end. I'm certain that, yeah, they're still going to be around because Vincent D'Onofrio and Charlie Cox are the main characters. They carry the show on their shoulders because they're great. Why wouldn't you want them on screen? So yeah, I don't know exactly where we're going to end up. I've seen some leaks, so I'm vaguely aware, but I don't know narratively how this is going to end up in those spots. That's the part that still eludes me and makes this season, looking forward to the season finale, exciting. But let me know, what are your thoughts on Daredevil Born Again Season 2, this episode, and just the season so far?